Hey, so today I'm going to be showing you through my Blu Ray collection. I've got the little shelves here that I'm going to go through. I did the Stephen King book collection the other day, so I thought I might as well do my Blu Ray collection now. It's mostly horror, a few non-horror movies, but mostly horror. And I have them sorted by age ratings too. I probably should have done alphabetical or color, but you know, whatever. Either way works. So we're going to start from the top. First movie that I have here is Alien. So essentially we are starting from letter A, but whatever. This is a fantastic movie. All-time classic. Really recommend it. Great film. Next, got Aliens. Now this is actually the only movie that I own that I haven't seen. I mean, this only came in the mail like 2 days ago, so I'll be watching it very, very soon. I'm really excited, considering how much I love the first Alien. Child's Play. Fun, campy little horror movie. It's good. Child's Play 2. I actually liked Child's Play 2 better than Child's Play 1. I'm not sure why. It was just like... It was probably as good as Child's Play 1, but it was just... I don't know, I had more fun watching it. Really good. First two were great. I wanted to watch the Child's Play franchise as a whole, but turns out only... Child's Play 1, 2, 3. I think all of the Child's Plays were available on streaming services in Australia except for Bride of Chucky, which I was really sad about. The Dead Zone. This is honestly one of my favourite Stephen King adaptations. It'd be top 5 Stephen King movies for me, for sure. It's so good. Like, one of my favourite Stephen King books. It's like one of my favourite movies. It's really underappreciated. It's fantastic. Give it a watch. Martin Sheen is phenomenal in it. Candyman. I love this movie. Tony Todd is so good. The soundtrack to this film is just phenomenal. It's a really fun movie to watch. It's probably the best 90s slasher because there wasn't really much in the 90s. There was no real good movies. No good slashers in the 90s aside from Candyman. Give it a watch. Here I've got Bram Stoker's Dracula. I actually really enjoyed this movie. Now, this is the problem. It's called Bram Stoker's Dracula. So Francis Ford Coppola directed this, which is really funny, I think. But yeah, Francis Ford Coppola directed this. He called it Bram Stoker's Dracula, as though it's gonna be like, you know, the book, the definitive novel of the definitive adaptation of the novel. So why add a whole romance subplot in it? Why? Why would you do it? Just. I love this movie though. It was good. It was just like, come on, don't throw a bunch of random in there that doesn't need anything. The Babadook, Babadook. I actually really like the Babadook. It's an Australian movie and it makes me happy. It's from Adelaide. Maybe that's why it's so weird. I'm kidding. No, but it's a really good movie. I really like one of my favorite new horror movies, like within the last 10 years. We got Jaws, a classic, probably the first non-horror. The Dead Zone's kind of not really horror. This definitely isn't a horror movie, but is an absolute classic. It's a great movie. A Quiet Place. I have only A Quiet Place 1. I've seen A Quiet Place 2, and it was fantastic. I actually pre-ordered A Quiet Place 2, and I ordered A Quiet Place 1 and 2 from the same store. And only A Quiet Place 1's come, so hopefully A Quiet Place 2 comes soon. I'm really excited to watch that again. The Alfred Hitchcock Collection. This has got 4 movies. It's got Rear Window, Vertigo, Psycho, and The Birds. Rear Window, Vertigo, and Psycho are all top-notch movies. I'd say they're all probably in my top 10 favorite movies ever. I'd say, probably. The Birds is also a very good movie too. It just when you compare it to Psycho, Vertigo, and Rear Window, it's just like nothing incredible, but 4 fantastic movies from my favorite director. The Sixth Sense is an absolute masterpiece. You gotta watch this one. You gotta watch it before it gets spoiled for you. Took me too long to watch it. Come across the big spoiler on the internet. I was very, very sad. Phenomenal movie, 9 out of 10 I'd say. The Godfather, another non-horror movie that I have. I love love the book of The Godfather, and this movie is also just so good. Such a great movie. The Godfather 2. This is Godfather 3, never mind. I like The Godfather 3. You can just like, you can shoot a nail gun at me if you like right now, but I really like The Godfather 3. It's so good. The only thing I hate is one person's performance, and it makes me very, very angry. Otherwise, it could have been a perfect trilogy. This is The Godfather 2. I actually like Godfather 2 better than Part 1, but I don't like it better than Part 3. But it's like 3.5 hours long, but it just goes by so fast. It's so good. It is really, really good. That's the thing. There's not many movies on here that I'm going to say aren't that good, because it's not very often I'm going to get a movie that's not that good. But fantastic. All-time classic. Better Watch Out. This is probably my favorite Christmas horror movie. Either this or the original Black Christmas, which I don't have, unfortunately. But I really, really love Better Watch Out. It's like probably one of the most fun movies I've ever watched. Like, it's so enjoyable, so enjoyable. It's a complete reference to Home Alone. That's why the tagline is, "You might be home, but you're not alone." I think this is another Australian horror movie too. It's fantastic. Cujo. That's definitely not Cujo on the front cover. They just got a really unscary looking dog and added a few fake teeth to it. But it's a really good movie. The book's better, which you can say about almost any movie. But I like the book a bit better. This Blu-ray says Cujo is 131 minutes. That's 2 hours and 11 minutes. Last time I watched this was just like a nice 90-minute flick. What the... That's wrong. That's real wrong. But yeah, this is a really entertaining movie. It's another one of those really fun horror movies. You just watch and just see this... You just see this dog get so angry. He's just running around barking, getting pissed. And the soundtrack is so good. It's got a really good soundtrack. This is a really good movie. Really good movie. The Stand. So this isn't a movie. This is a 6-hour miniseries that was divided into 4.5-hour episodes. And it's really, really good. The New Stand was okay. Maybe it wasn't okay. Maybe it was just fine. But this one is a lot better than the new one. And the performance by Jamie Sheridan as Randall Flagg is so good. It's so good. I love this miniseries. Sometimes dead is better. That was a really bad impression, but this is Pet Sematary. This is the 1989 version, and it's not good. It's not a good movie. It's a really pretty shitty movie, but again, like, it's not well made. It's not well acted aside from Fred Gwynne. Okay, it is well made. I will admit the last 25 minutes is fantastic, and the rest of it's just like alright. But I love watching it. It's another one of those. It's like what people call a guilty pleasure movie. I mean, I never feel guilty for watching and enjoying a movie, but I really like this movie, even though I can admit that it's not a very good movie. Now let's go to an actual very good movie. The Silence of the Lambs. Is this in? Yes, okay. Sorry, I thought the disc was rattling around, but it's not. Really good movie. Really, really good. Really good. It's so good. Yeah, here's another movie that's really, really good. It. This is the 2017 version. I actually never thought it was fantastic. I mean, I do now, but when I first saw it, I was like, it's alright. But like, rewatching it, it's actually a really good movie. It's well made, well acted, well everything. Aside from some CGI, it looks a little bit but it's actually a really, really good adaptation of an 1100 page novel. This obviously only does like half of it because we got It Chapter 2, but it's really, really good. Definitely another one of those great modern horror movies. Starting our second shelf now, we actually do have It Chapter 2. I actually like this one quite a lot more than Chapter 1, actually. Like, I'm not sure why, but just this movie just resonated more well with me. I just thought it was so much fun. It was so good. It was really... Oh god, the acting was just so good. It just made everything seem so sentimental, and I will forever think that Chapter 2 is better than Chapter 1, no matter what anyone else thinks. Like, the way this movie ended was so well done. So well done. Like, it was just... Comparing it to the book, this was just unbelievable. Carrie from 2013. This one's pretty good, actually. It's another one of those ones that, like, I swear everybody seems to f***ing despise, but I really liked it. I liked it a lot. It was not perfect, obviously, but I think people look past the fact that it was well acted. The soundtrack is fantastic. The visuals, while nothing special, when they are good, they're really, really good. And I really love this movie. Honestly, like, it's really good. It's really, really good. It's just... The 76 one's better, and I think everyone can agree on that. But that does not mean that this movie doesn't deserve any attention, because it's fantastic. This is the first movie that I ever saw that actually made me love movies. Like, the first one that got me into all my books and movies. Sure, I'd read the Harry Potter series, I'd seen all the movies. This one, like, this movie has had such a big impact on my life and what I like to do. I now love reading, I love watching movies, all because of this masterpiece that, while held in very high regard from some people, gets pissed on so much, and it really disappoints me because Stephen King doesn't like it, so I think that's why a lot of people crack it. Like, they're like, Stephen King doesn't like it, okay, so it's objectively a bad movie. Like, no, like, look at it from your own perspective. You can't just take the perspective of what the author says and run with it. The books are made to be interpreted differently. They're not... Stephen King obviously interpreted his own book as something. I interpret it as something else, but... So, am I objectively wrong? No! No! Respect this movie. Just do it, because I can't find a single fault with it. There is nothing that I don't like. And I'm serious when I say this. I could probably watch this 5 times over and not get tired of it. Like, I'm probably going to do that sometime. I can't tell you how much I love this movie. So good. Doctor Sleep Director's Cut. This is probably my favourite movie of the 21st century. It is such... I mean, I actually like the Doctor Sleep book better than the Shining book. But I like the Shining movie better than the Doctor Sleep movie. But they're both 10 out of 10 movies. This one, the director's cut, I reckon. Like, the director's cut's 3 hours on the dot, but you really should spend that extra time to watch it. It's so, such a deep movie and can be analysed and analysed and analysed, and you still wouldn't pick up on everything. Like The Shining. And some people complain about the 2.5 hour theatrical cuts runtime. But it just goes so fast, I just don't see, like, what the problem is with it. I get it, it's a long time, but seriously, you gotta watch this. There's one scene which may mess with a few people's heads, but for the most part, this one is just one of the greatest looking movies of the 21st century. The Green Malay. This is probably my least favourite movie that I actually have. It's not that I don't like it, it's just that there's not much rewatch value for me. It's not an enjoyable movie. It's a very good movie. It's such a good movie, but it's just not enjoyable. I don't know. I can't watch it and just sit there and enjoy it. I'll watch it and I'm thinking, Trick or Treat. This is an anthology movie from 2007, and I really like it. I like it a lot. It's produced by Bryan Singer. Ew. Halloween 2018. This one is actually a very good sequel to the original. There's like... It's a good movie. That's all I'm saying. It's a good movie. It's not like, you know, anywhere near the original, but it's a bloody good movie. And considering, like... I'm actually watching the Halloween franchise all the way through, and I think this is still my third favourite. I mean, I've watched 6 of them. I've watched Halloween's 1 to 5, and this. This is like my third favourite, I think, because 4 and 5 are atrocious, and Halloween 3 isn't even a Halloween movie, so I'm trying to hold something up that is held in such high regard, and the movie is actually pretty good, but nothing incredible. Although it is kind of incredible, but so many people praise this thing. Do you know what? This is a good movie. Yes, it is. Got that clear? Good. Do another one of my favourite modern horror movies, The Conjuring. These are 2 very, very good movies. Very, very good modern horror movies. Deal with it. Just because The Conjuring doesn't have people wailing in grief, like Hereditary does, doesn't mean that it's a weak as piss beginner's horror movie. Fuck you if you think that. Here's another sequel that I actually liked better than the original. The Conjuring 2 is fantastic. Like, it's a really good movie. I'd say both Conjuring 1 and 2 are really, really good. I just think that this one is a bit better. Here's another non-horror movie. The Shawshank Redemption. I watched this last night again for the first time in quite a while, and it was just as good as I remember it being. It's... I can't remember if it was either Tim Robbins or Morgan Freeman said, this is probably the only movie in history that is a romance love story between 2 men that isn't a homo movie. But I just think that's such an interesting thing, how, like, you know, it essentially is a romance between 2 men, and it's not a gay story. It's just incredible. So many good morals, and I will infinitely like it better than the Green Mile. I'm sorry, but Frank Darabont just wanted another Shawshank. Here's another movie that nobody besides me actually likes. 2019 version of Pet Sematary. It's not boring. It's too short. That's the thing with this movie. There is so many things that could have been improved upon from the last one. It's really short, but I just don't. Oh, God, it just doesn't develop well. It just doesn't. But see, it's scary. It's enjoyable. It's an easy watch of a movie. Like, what's wrong? There's nothing that. I just like this movie, and I think the cast is great, especially Jette Lawrence. She's phenomenal in this role, and I think the trailer just made everything awful. Evil Dead 2. What the hell? Oh, it's a bonus disc. I didn't see. There was a small text that says bonus disc. I didn't realise there was a bonus disc in there. But yeah, Evil Dead 2. I probably like this one equally with Evil Dead 1. It's definitely more comedic than the first one, but it just reaffirms my burning love for Bruce Campbell. Misery. This one is another Stephen King movie that is just as good as the book. This is the thing. I don't know. I'm at a loss. There's a couple of things I like about the book better, but there's a couple of things I like about the movie better too. So it's a really hard one for me to judge whether I like the book or movie more. But it's really, really good. Is this rattling again? It is rattling again, but whatever. I was gonna say, I think this is the first movie. You can see it's got a different rating down the bottom, and that's because I had this with a couple of my movies. I got them from England because I couldn't find them for a decent price or decent condition in Australia, so I had to get them from England. And I only really did that with the movies that I was really desperate to get, so here it is. Now, here we have an adaptation on my favourite book of all time, Salem's Lot. This is a really good it's 90s, it was 70s. This is a really good miniseries and like scary for the 1970s. It's really, really good, and I absolutely love the way Kurt Barlow looks. Like, he's creepy as all hell. This is a fantastic movie, and I'm really excited for what James Wan's going to do, but I don't know, there's just some charm. James Mason is in this one, so the new one can't be better. Got Casino here. This is a good movie. I mean, Sharon Stone plays the most obnoxious character you could ever think of, but it's a really good movie. It's basically just more Goodfellas. Here it is. Here's Goodfellas. This one's better, but Casino's still very, very good. Yeah, this one's not quite as bloated or as long as Casino, but yeah, they're both great movies, and they both have fantastic soundtrack. Speaking of another movie with a soundtrack that I just love, Pulp Fiction. Pardon me. Yeah, this is one of the only Tarantino films that I've seen. But yeah, I love Pulp Fiction. It's probably my favourite out of Casino, Goodfellas. This one, I like this one the best. It's a really fun, like, it's just so interesting. I can't tell if it's an anthology movie or not, but I really like it. Gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, pride, lust, envy. 7. That was a really bad Morgan Freeman impression too. But yeah, this is another one I got from England because I absolutely love it. Gluttony, greed, sloth, envy, pride, pride. I think I missed one. I can't remember. Maybe I didn't. But yeah, it's a Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, fantastic thriller. It's definitely not as good as The Silence of the Lambs, but it's another great 90s thriller. Here's another one that I got from England. American Psycho. You f***ing ugly bitch. I want to stab you to death and mess around in your blood. Oh, I like this movie. And I'm glad that I got it on Blu-ray because I don't have to return it like it's a videotape. I don't have to go and return some videotapes. That was a really pathetic joke, actually. The Exorcist. This one came a few days ago. I have the director's cut and the theatrical cut, and the director's cut adds in this one scene which, like, I was like not expecting. I knew it was a spider walk scene, and I knew it was coming, but it was different from what I'd seen, and I was like, it's a really scary movie, and I love it. It even says the scariest film of all time because it's a really scary movie. Now we're getting onto our last shelf, which is just a small little one. I've only got 4 more movies to show you. Apocalypse Now. This is probably another top 5 movie for me, along with Shining, Vertigo, Psycho. I don't know, but like maybe even top 4. And I've got the Redux and the original. This is actually one of those rare times when I'm going to say that the original theatrical cut is better than the director's cut. It just wasn't like, the director's cut had so much bloat to it, and it just went on forever. But this is another one of my favourite movies. It's probably the only war movie that I legitimately love. I mean, like, yeah, Paths of Glory, it's alright. 1917, they're fine, but this one is just amazing. I really want to watch the Hearts of Darkness documentary. And I was really sad too because there's actually a bonus content here that says Hearts of Darkness. Oh no, Heart of Darkness. I thought that was a documentary, but it's not. It's an audio clip from probably like 1935. But yeah, fantastic movie. And if you were wondering, I do have the Evil Dead one, and I really like the Evil Dead. It's a fantastic movie. I still remember. We all know that one scene from it that just like was, and we all know that it was added in post-production. And now for my second last movie, which I'm actually going to rewatch tonight because I really, 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 really like it, is 1976 Carrie. This might actually be in my top 5. It is so well made. Like, I still remember, I don't think I've ever had, aside from maybe the ending of Psycho, I don't think I've ever had as many goosebumps from a film as I did with this. Like you know, you get to the climax and you know, like, even though you know shit's about to go down, it just changes so fast and so abruptly. It's like, oh god, it's such a good movie. I love this movie. And now, the last movie that I actually do have that's not on Blu-ray is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is just on DVD. And while I'd love to get it on Blu-ray, I love how gritty and, like, I don't know what the primitive this movie feels. And just watching it with the extra quality on DVD just adds a certain charm to it. It's a really shocking movie, but it's so cinematically poetic, and yeah, it's fantastic. And just very quickly, when I got Salem's Lot and The Exorcist, they both come with these little skins that come over the top of it, and they look really cool. I like to keep them up here. Kurt watches me as I sleep. I like to keep Reagan behind Kurt though, because 1, Kurt is superior, and 2, I don't want Reagan to watch me sleep. Anyway, that's it. That's my Blu-ray collection. Hope you enjoyed it. It was a bit long, bit of a longer video, but it's going to expand significantly, this collection, and I can't wait for it too. I really want to get an actual shelf, because this is like, it's hard to actually film and show it, because it's like, you probably can't really see, but there's a desk down here. So I can't really get in close and get a nice camera angle, so I kind of have to be far away so you can just kind of see the outsides of the things. But yeah, that's it. Probably tomorrow, actually, I'm going to do a review on Dracula, the book. Which, yes, I know I said in my last video that video was coming, but I meant that the review was going to be the next review that I was going to do. I never said I wasn't going to do another one in between. Anyway, you can just go watch that if you like, because that's going to be up by like not long after this is done. And it's raining. And I really need to take a shit. Bye.